Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cub Chat Live. We've got a really exciting topic, something that you all have been asking for more information on. We are talking about Arrow of Light and Webelos today. You can tell I'm in a different background. I do want to reassure you guys I am stopped in my car. Aaron was supposed to be on with you today. I know you guys all miss him, but he had extenuating circumstances that have him missing today's show, but he'll be back next week. We promise. But there is a familiar face on today who is going to take over. You guys are in great hands. We've got Audrey Oakes here. As usual, she's our National Cub Scout Committee Chair, and she's going to give you all the information you've been looking for. Honestly, we've been seeing questions about this for months now, right?
We have. This is a big ticket item today.
Well, I am so excited. I'm going to be watching along with our audience as you walk us through some of the frequently asked questions and updates that we're going to be seeing to AOL and Webelos coming in spring, fall.
Right, with releases June 1st, and then most of them will start their meetings in the fall. Absolutely.
Very cool. So, we'll take it away.
Awesome. So we're going to do our best today, as we always do in Cub Scouts. And I probably won't be able to do as many shout outs because I'm managing both sides today because of our challenges. So just be patient with us, folks. We are super excited that you're here. We're happy that you're interested in the new updates for the program coming June 1st. So we have packs from all over, pack 84, 331, Edmonds, Washington. That's my home state. Yay. Chattanooga, New York, Three Rivers District. So hello to all the packs, and we're so glad you're here for Cub Chat Live. The first things that we're going to talk about is we have an update coming. And so what does that look like? Why did we focus and what are we trying to achieve in this update? And the update is coming June 1st of 24, which is this year. And it was something that's been in work for about 5 years. Folks, we've been doing surveys and data and using a method called data-informed decision makings. And so you actually told us what needed to happen in the Cub Scout program as far as updates. And so what we kept hearing many, many times was that it needed to be fun, simple, and easy. Fun for the Cub Scouts, of course, but also for the leaders and parents, because if it's not fun for a leader, it's hard to find new leaders. And the parents, if it's fun for them, they want to stay and they want to stick with scouting, and they want to, say, hey, this is something great for our family. We really enjoy this. It needs to be simple to understand and explain and support for all the folks that you want to talk to about what is Cub Scouts, what does that look like, and those that are supported, all the helpers and leaders that want to help with the Cub Scout program. And they need it to be easy and simple to understand and explain, and easy to deliver. Everything should be in the den leader's line of sight. It's simple to deliver, nothing difficult to understand or too complex. So those are the focuses or the lens that we use to look at everything in the Cub Scout program, and that has been updated, and we are super excited. So there's some things like, hey, we are in the school year 23-24. So what about those current fourth graders who are in Webelos right now? What are we asking them to do because of the updates coming? We're asking you to stop. Just stop after you complete your Webelos badge of rank, and do not work on Arrow of Light, because it's going to be a completely different program. We hope that you will be able to work on these electives for the remainder of the school year. And the electives that we suggest that you focus on are the ones that are not going to be available to those in the Arrow of Light program. And that's Aquanaut, Art Explosion, Aware and Care, Build It, Earth Rocks, and the Modular Design. Those are going to stay or be updated in the Webelos program for fourth grade only, and they will not transition into AOL. So we recommend that you work on those electives and do not start on AOL, because Arrow of Light, AOL, starts June 1st or whenever your school year ends and the new period begins. So that is our recommendation for current Webelos leaders. And so what does that new program look like that we're going to have? And so as a general overview chart, we're going to look at next is what the whole program looks like. And as you can see, it looks a little different, and you can tell what the whole program is just at this one at a glance chart. It's simple to understand and easy to read. And what it basically is saying is that each and every grade is going to have its own program. There's not going to be a combined program anymore for Webelos and Arrow of Light. They're going to be separated. And fourth graders is going to be Webelos, and fifth graders is going to be Arrow of Light. So the Webelos will have all their own program, their own electives, and the same thing for Arrow of Light. And they are going to have their 6 required adventures, which every grade has 6 required adventures and 2 electives. And we talked a lot more about those in previous Cub Chats, what that all looks like, and how that the topics are all across the board, the aims and focus areas of BSA that you can easily explain to somebody new to the program. What Cub Scout stands for is its character and leadership, the outdoors, personal fitness, citizenship, personal safety, family, and reverence. And those are the main key topics we think are the most important, or actually you told us are the most important that you're looking for. And they are across the ranks, but they're all age appropriately developed, and they are all different requirements. And we talked about in the previous one that all the required adventures do have a common activity, one common activity across all the adventures. So that makes it easier for planning for multi-age dens and potentially other pack events. So that's an exciting thing. Then there's 2 electives. And so that's why we suggest that this current year's 4th graders just do the electives. It will no longer be available for Arrow of Light, because then they choose 2 electives from the list of electives that are available. And what we highlighted previously also is that Bobcat is designated to be the first required elective that you work on when you meet together as a den, because a lot of the requirements are about getting to know your den members. So that would be when your first time you guys meet together. We understand that elective adventures are going to happen during summer camp and day camp and that kind of thing, and those are great. But the first required elective adventure when you meet together in the fall is Bobcat, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a bit. So what does the required adventures for Arrow of Light look like? And they are all going to be the arrowheads, as you see, and these are the 6 the 6 required adventures. The scouting required adventure is being retired. And the difference is that the scouting content is put through all 6 elective adventures, preparing them to enter into Scouts BSA. That is the main focus of this shorter program, is to prepare you to enter into Scouts BSA. So each and every one of those required adventures has components of this, like the previous Scout required adventure, and then it has more. We have worked closely with the Scouts BSA side to prepare this material for you, and we're going to highlight a few of those components. So this is what an example is of a required Arrow of Light adventure. So this happens to be Bobcat, which would be your first one. And this is where some of the biggest change might happen. It was likely to happen. The highlighted parts are things that are designated as specifically Scout, as in BSA, Scouts BSA, related. And so they're starting to choose a patrol name and elect a patrol leader. So that kind of gets them starting to understand youth leadership and how a patrol works and things like that before as they transition into Scouts BSA in several months, they're going to be prepared for that transition, where it's a tiny bit more youth-led. In Cubs, you still are going to have the adult leader in charge, but you're starting that youth leadership so that when they get to Scouts BSA, they understand that it is youth-led. One of the other ones is demonstrate the Scout sign, salute, and handshake, and how each one is. We're no longer teaching the Cub Scout components here, but we're teaching the Scouts BSA components, again, to prepare them for that transition. The number 7 is where there is going to be a little bit of change, because this is Bobcat, and it's some of the first things that you're going to be wanting to do when you come together as your first meetings, is with your patrol, a parent or legal guardian, visit a Scouts BSA troop. So this is probably traditionally earlier in the year than you've been used to. Often they do it more towards the winter time, and this we're encouraging them to do it in the fall. So for the Scout side, that would be something to prepare for the Scoutmasters on that side, that they're going to have troop visits, being asked to have troop visits in that early fall time period. Probably it's even August, September-ish, but that is up to them. You may not complete your Bobcat all in one meeting, because that one may take you a little bit of time to actually relay it. So that's fine. Get what you need done on Bobcat, move to your next adventure while you're setting up those appointments and those visits. So that's a big change there, but it's all preparing you to establish that relationship with your troop early. So there are fewer surprises. Parents are prepared. Scouts are prepared. Everybody is prepared for that change in experience. And I'm going to pause right there for 1 second just to make sure, see if I've got any questions. We've got more packs. Oh, the handshake. No, the handshake didn't change, but the signs do change. That was one of the questions. Families. Okay, well, we're actually going to get to some of these other questions here in just a few minutes, but thank you for putting them in there, and we'll try to address them, or I'll try to address them as I can. It's a little bit harder to do this all by yourself than usual, than having somebody read those out for you. So be patient. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to look at is a little bit more in-depth detail about what we did with Scouts BSA on the next slide. So the next slide after this one is that we collaborated with the Scouts BSA committee. So they have worked hand in hand with us to put together the materials, the requirements, to make sure that they were things that were important to transition, to make a smooth transition between Arrow of Light Scouts into a Scouts BSA troop in the same time frame that we have currently. And so most troops, it's January, February. Some may go into March, but it's right in that time frame that we expect all those crossovers to be happening. So the materials, the requirements for the other things are planned to be accomplished in that time frame, especially if you're doing some of the electives in the summer, or as we looked at in some of the previous Cub Chat lives, even just doing a Pinewood Derby can get you an elective belt loop. So those are things outside the normal that help the den leaders to get it accomplished in the time frame. So it's been designed to be accomplished in a normal time frame from your August, September start to your crossover in January, February. And there are no duplicate requirements between Arrow of Light and Scout. So it's two separate things that they'll be earning. And so there's not redundancy there, so that they can enjoy their full Arrow of Light program. On the next slide you're like, well, what are some of those other electives I mentioned? So as you can see on the chart, 4th grade Webelos get 20 electives available to them because they have a full school year. So they start June 1st or whenever their school gets out, and go until the May 31st. And so they have a full 20 electives available to them. 5th graders, as I just said, the Arrow of Lights are standalone programs. So they're going to start your June 1st and cross over in your January, February timeframe. So they have a shorter program, just like the Lions do. So they have 16 electives available to them. Lions don't start until kindergarten, which is in the fall. So they're both a little bit shorter programs. The lighter color on the electives are things that already exist, and they exist only in the name and the content. All the requirements have been revised, and there's another Cub Chat on all about that and what the requirements were. They're made to be clear and inclusive, and something that is just easy to deliver as far as a clear understanding of what you need to do to deliver. The middle section are things that have been awards that have been reimagined into elective adventures, as well as some keynote ones like your Pinewood Derby and your Rain Gutter Regatta. Those are in there, as well as a camping one across the board. You can get an elective adventure for that. And our conservation is in there. And then the shooting sport or the target and range sports are available also, but those are only going to be accomplished in either a district or council activity with certified folks. So this kind of gives you a highlight of some of those electives that are coming. So this is a chart that shows basically what exists right now. Current Webelos is on the left column. The middle one is what is going to be available for the Webelos as of June 1st. If it says sunset, that means it's no longer going to be offered in that form or offered at all, potentially. And then they have some of the new names associated with the electives. So these are only of things that currently exist. So all those other ones are new ones. So this for those of you that are current Webelos leaders and you're interested in, what happened to my award? Well, if it's in sports, it's been sunset all the way across the board. It's no longer being offered. Yo-yo is only being offered in Webelos, but is not being offered in Arrow of Light. And engineer is not being offered in the Webelos section, but it is being offered in the Arrow of Light. And if you looked at that previous chart, which we have up on our website under the program updates, Cub Scout program updates, then you can see where they are, all the electives. And you can also see the STEM, as we have science, technology, engineering, and math in every single thing. So in every single grade appropriately. But this particular engineer is not offered in Webelos. There is something for engineering offered in Webelos, just not this particular one. Okay, so the next slide, what about uniforming? What's that going to look like if we're splitting up both programs? Well, the fourth graders are going to retain the current Cub Scout blue uniform. They'll have their Webelos hat and neckerchief, just like typical, but they'll get to wear their bear badge on the blue thing first until on the blue, whether you use the plastic insignia or that area on the pocket. They will be able to wear that for the full year, which is kind of nice. Usually you don't get to do that if you transition right away to the tan uniform. So you get to wear the blue uniform in fourth grade. And in fifth grade, it transitions to the tan uniform because they're getting ready to go into Scouts BSA. They're with the green shirt or green bottom, excuse me, and the tan shirt. They do not have a designated Arrow of Light hat or neckerchief because the patrol in Scouts BSA votes on whether they're going to wear that or what they're going to wear for that. So there's some options there that current Webelos will get to start learning a little bit about youth leadership if they're going to choose to do that or not. I just wait till their troop necker. So those are some options that are available for the Arrow of Light Scouts. Flexibility is what we're looking for here. We want the Scouts to be able to do their best. And this is not a point where we want folks to call people out for not wearing the right uniform. The decision basically is by the family. These are the guidelines we would like to see, but there may be other opportunities that do or don't work for your family. Like I said, potentially you wear the blue uniform until you complete your Webelos badge of rank, and then you transition to the tan uniform. You can do that after you've completed fourth grade. Or maybe the shirt is so tight they can't fit in the blue uniform anymore. So you buy them the tan uniform and then it fits. So there's some flexibility here within what the family needs, what their budgets are, when they can time that. There's just it's not a sticking point. This is the guidelines. And so we want everyone to do their best and be able to function nicely in their uniform. The next slide is what do the other components look like? So the Webelos is still the oval badge, and the Arrow of Light is still the bar patch, and there still will be a knot that adults can wear on their uniform, just like currently. The Webelos colors has changed, however, because now it's a separate program. So it's been renamed Adventure Colors. That's the ribbon that you can put some of the pins on. You can choose to use it on the hat, or you can choose to use it on on the adventure colors, as they're called now, and that can be good for both Webelos and Arrow of Light. What the pins look like are fairly similar. All the required our adventure pins are diamond shape for Webelos, and then they are diamond shape for electives. And this will be a rolling change as your scout shops change over some of the information, some of the pins that exist. They will be changing them to the current shape from the oval. The required adventures for Arrow of Light are in the arrowhead shape, and the same thing for their electives. The required adventures will have the color, and the elective adventures will have the single color. So that is some of the current changes that will be coming with the new uniforming. Can an AOL choose a necker color together as part of their patrol? Absolutely. Yep. In fact, that would be a good exercise for them to start learning into youth, some of the youth leadership roles. They do not have to. It is not required. They could even use a generic scout necker if they choose to, or do something custom. Those are options available. Let's see. Okay, books, I'm going to get to just the next one. Yes, anybody that has a current uniform can wear currently what they have. If they have a Webelos color bar and it says Webelos, you can put AOL pins on it. Absolutely. I think any historic uniform you can still wear. So this is just moving forward for the future families that don't have uniforms yet. And I think that's all the questions I have on uniforming. And could Webelos continue to wear their Webelos neckerchief? I wouldn't recommend that one as much because we're trying to designate it as a difference, that the AOL is now different, and there is a new program, and it's to get ready for Scouts BSA. Is that 100% rule? No, you could still do that, but I would recommend against it because they're trying to either choose their own thing or just be identified as something different. Let's see. Okay, I think that's all the questions. They're scrolling by fast, so I don't get all of them. So if I missed your question on uniforming, I apologize. Okay, so let's talk about handbooks, which are quite a few of the questions coming in is on handbooks. So what do they look like? So this is what they're going to be looking like. The Webelos handbook is its own handbook. It's for 4th grade. And just like all the new handbooks coming in, they're going to be the grade on the front and a space for their name. It has the oval patch for Webelos, and they start with the pins. Arrow of Light, you can see the difference is that they also have the Scout badge of rank on there. So as part of the collaboration, we worked with Scouts BSA. Half of the handbook is Arrow of Light requirements and information, and the other half is Scout, the Scout badge of rank, and what is Scouts information. They cannot earn or work on any of the requirements for Scout, but they have the information there, so they could choose to read ahead if they wanted to. But it's for their use when they cross over to the troop. They've got something right away to start working on that, and there is no delay. They get a full value handbook for the whole school year, which 5th grade, the second part of 5th grade, would be in Scouts BSA. So the content is in there, but there's no place to like sign off for Scout because that's done with your troop when you're actually already into Scouts BSA. So it's pretty cool. The handbooks are going to be separate. They're I think I already said they're the name is in there too. So you can have your name on the front cover, and then just like I highlighted in the previous one about handbooks, they've got some great features in them. So that's a lot of information to take in. And so people are probably wondering, is there some sort of summary of this? And especially if we have the Scouts BSA, Scoutmasters and leaders chiming in. And so we do. We have an at-a-glance chart. And this is going to be up on our website here. And so the at-a-glance chart, I think, is our next slide. And so this is a tool for helpers, for educating new leaders current leaders and new leaders on what does it look like. And we only anticipate this in the transition time, because new leaders are only going to know the new program. So we don't need to remind them what happened in the past, because they just need to focus on the new things. But this is for those that are helping, coach, mentor, also for Scoutmasters that want to know what's going on and what are some of the changes coming up. So you can see that the current Webelos program is about an 18-month program. It's over 2 grades, and it's kind of the blue to yellow, or blue to tan. So because it includes both sides. They had many requirements, including tenure requirements of how many months you have to be in. Those requirements are all dropped. You now just have, just like every other rank, 6 required adventures and 2 elective adventures to earn your badge of rank. Crossover was in the January to March timeframe. We already discussed the uniform, and the handbook was combined with AOL. And camping can only be done, with your den with a Webelo trained leader. So what does it look like after June 1st? So the Webelos badge of rank is, as I just said, 6 and 2, and then you have 20 electives to choose from. And then you can begin Arrow of Light when you complete 4th grade, but not before. So if you have extra time, you work on extra electives to enjoy lots of fun and educational things. And then the uniforms we just covered, they get their own handbook. They can do pack or den camping with a Webelo trained leader. After June 1st, Arrow of Light is for 5th grade only. The whole purpose of Arrow of Light is to prepare you to join Scouts BSA, to make that transition easier, to give you the tools and all the education you need to make that smooth for the Scouts, the parents, and potentially, if the parents are going to be leaders into Scouts BSA. You still have just 6 and 2, 6 required adventures, 2 electives. The point of note is that the visitations to troops are going to be earlier. They're going to be probably in the August to September timeframe. The requests for visitations could be coming in about that timeframe. But you don't have to complete Bobcat immediately. You need to start it, but you don't need to complete it immediately. You can work on getting those scheduled and then return to just completing that once you have scheduled that troop visit. Crossovers should be in the same time frame. Even though it's 6 required and 2, the electives we'd already discussed can be earned various different ways. With just even participating in a Pinewood Derby is one way to earn a various elective. If you participate in the Summertime Award, what used to be the Summertime Award, it's now the Summertime Fun. It's 3 activities during the summer, and you have an elective done. So those are some fantastic ways to do it. And the rest have been, on average, the meeting times are 1 meeting to 1.5 meetings. So there's plenty of time to get your 6 required adventures done in that time frame. Handbook and yearning and packing, packing, camping is done in a pack or den with Webelos trained leaders. So that doesn't change. So the thing to know is these are program updates on the program content and the delivery. There is no change to policy. So there's no change to the guides to safe scouting, youth protection policies, or the national camping accreditation program. So those are not, there's no policy changes in this. It is merely content update and a program refreshing and how we're going to deliver it. So that is the at a glance chart, and that will be uploaded soon on our program updates website. I hope maybe around the Monday timeframe, but there are some factors in that, so it will be there soon is what I can guarantee. And Brian is putting that into all the chat lines so you can see the direct link to that. So how do we find out more information? So this is just one component, right, of the program updates. Well, the next chart shows you that we have a rollout plan, and we're about midstream of that rollout plan. So Cub Chat Live has been one of our main components to get this information out. So you're going to want to go back to the Cub Chat Live archives, which is on Scouting Magazine. And there it is, Scouting Magazine, Cub Chat Live. And you can go back and learn or get yourself educated on some of the details where we discuss each one of these topics across the top in a little more detail. there's also been already, your councils have all this information. So if you're planning a Cub Scout educational conference or that sort of thing, they have that material. So you'd want to contact your Cub Scout staff advisor to get that. Also, commissioners, the helpers to the units have been educated on this and they're ready to go. And there's been a team of presenters from 18 states that were educated at CBase with some presentations. If you have need for that, they are available. Your council has access to that list. So they can be asked if they could do it. Our national committee, our National Cub Scouting Committee, which has put together all these updates, is also available. So there are different folks that can help out with either virtual or in-person educational components. We just completed a series of evening Cub Chat Lives. We call them prime times. And so same thing, they were all the same topic, but based on the questions, there might be some slightly different flavor there. So that's another thing. It is a little bit deeper dive. That one is more like an hour 15, where this one we try to keep closer to a half an hour. So if you're, that would give you some more information there. Scouts BSA is going to be given some of this information at a glance, and there will be a video for them as well. So that's a topic. If you're working closely with Scoutmasters, you will be able to send them resources, and the Scouts BSA side will be working with that. And then the topic everybody's asking about: when do we get to have these things? It's just as soon as they come from the printer. We don't have them yet either. It's just the time it takes to get from the printer, and that's in the spring. So the handbooks, we know folks who need to use them for gifts and want to use them for crossovers and bridging and so on. They will be there as soon as they can be there, and that will be in the spring. And the pins and the belt loops and all that should be in your Scout shops in that time frame. Upcoming topics, we're going to be talking about a little bit more about the handbooks and the leader resources, which are going to be outstanding. That's one you're not going to want to miss in March. And then den and pack meetings. We've talked about previously how wonderful this component works for planning for multi-age dens, regular dens, and pack meetings. And then some questions, and then safety integration. We're going to go into some of the knife updates and some other safety integrations in the June timeframe. Our training is going to position-specific training is going to be updated in May, so that will be all available, as well as Cub Scout Roundtable. So if that's an area you work in, that should be available to you in the May timeframe. And then our online tools, Scout Book, will be updated, and any of the online reports. So that's exciting things are coming up. So that's a great chart to have. But if you need to go look for more information, where can you look for it? Well, the next slide tells us where, and I call this our easy share. And this is, if you just type in at Cub Scout program updates, just type that in almost any of the search lines. It's on Linktree, and it shows you the Cub Scout updates. It gets you quickly to it. You can also use that QR code right there, but it gets you to the updates, program updates, which is your one source of truth. I know there's lots of things flying around out there, and some's true and some's not true. So you want to go back to the one source of truth, and that is the update page on scouting.org. And this will get you right there. It also has frequently asked questions, and honestly, those are must reads. They're divided by sections, and so you can read them, and then the supporting charts or materials are there as well. Last update was on the 3rd of January, and so you'll want to refresh yourself. They'll be updated as we get big blocks of information put out, like the one today. So, and then Cub Chat Live, which, as I said, is where it's at, where you're able to ask some questions, and usually we can answer a few more, but doing it by myself is a little challenging. So on a normal one, there's a little bit of the host is able to ask more questions, and we can go through some of them. And it's also available on a podcast. So if you don't choose to listen to it in this format, you can listen to it on a podcast. So all those features are available. And the QR code will get you to this easy share or at Cub Scout program updates. And so that is the AOL to Webelos topic. And let's see, I'm going to briefly try to grab some of these questions. Knife-related adventures, yes, there are 3 knife-related adventures, and we're going to be talking about that in an upcoming session. But yeah, so they're actually have increased the safety of knives and the depth in which we go into it. Let's see. Some very nice comments in there. Thank you. Yes, commissioners have been educated and have had conferences on this. And there's going to be another large one, I believe, in April. And so there's more information coming out if you contact your commissioner leadership if you haven't heard these things. Or, as I said, your council also has a Teams channel with all this information and much, much more on the council sites. Sure, AOLs can wear the green hat. Why not? If that's what they choose. I think they're talking about the green scouting hat. Those are some choices that they, as a patrol, can make. And as if they want to wear anything, or they would like to wear a hat. I know some folks have said we're in the sun, and we need hats. So yes, you can use the generic scouting hat. Absolutely, you could choose to wear a Scouts BSA hat. Yes, you have options. You're just not required to do that. Crossover. So crossover is the program is designed to be the same time frame in the January, February, March, because the data shows that you want to get connected with your troop. As I said, we use data-informed decision making, and so the data shows us that folks stay in scouting longer if they have some time to connect with the troop, to start to build some trust and some friends and things like that a few months before summer camp, and then go to summer camp. Summer camp is a big deal. That is where it kind of cements what scouting is and how much fun they can have. And then if they either come in too early and don't make that time, where they can bond with their new patrol and then go to summer camp, they tend to not continue on with scouting. So it is a critical time, and we're working. As I said, we collaborated heavily with Scouts BSA to make sure that was a protected time, so that they after the March to June-ish, they have had time to work with their units, getting them prepared to go to summer camp and prepared to go to summer activities and all the skills needed there, and then go into summer camp. So yes, the program has definitely been designed to maintain the crossover timeline. Den Chief Handbook. Yes, so so we handle Cub Scout side, the Scouts BSA handles their materials, and they have been given all the information of what is coming. And I believe they have their own timeline of being able to update their resources, but it is definitely on their radar. That's all I can answer on that one. Commissioners, yes, commissioners have been given information. So as I said, contact those resources, and roundtables will be supported more, as I said, with some videos coming up. But if you need more information in between, contact your council, or contact your council who has the list of presenters who are available. And some more thank yous. I appreciate that a lot. And so I just want to say this is a team effort. The National Cub Scouting Committee has been working diligently for the past 5 years under the leadership of our past chair, Lisa Wiley, and then myself the last 2 years. And there has been over 200 people who have touched this program, whether it's subject matter experts, other committees, outside universities who've reviewed it for age appropriateness. So it is a huge team effort. So we're really, really thankful for that. Okay, I think I'm going to end it there because it scrolls up and I can't see it. So I appreciate your flexibility, as this is not our typical Cub Chat, but we really appreciate you being here. Please come in next week. We have regular Cub Chats, not just the program updates. The program updates have been generally the first Friday of the month at 2 p.m. And then the regular Cub Chats, which have current and relevant topics, are just the rest of the Fridays of the month. So tune in and refer your friends. So with that, I am going to end Cub Chat Live today. So thank you so much for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in today. Be sure to catch next week's episode. Same time, same place. And let us know how we're doing at go.scoutingmagazine.org/rate Cub Chat. We love feedback and ideas for new episodes. And you can visit blog.scoutingmagazine.org/CubChatLive for all our past video episodes. You can see us live. Except it's recorded, but it was live. Okay, see you next week.